Hello everybody, welcome to episode 5 of the Roottrees Are Dead. And I said that every time I upload these I rewatch, a decent amount of it just because I have to click through, make sure everything's hunky-dory. And I have come up with a few different angles I want to take. Remember I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do at the beginning of this episode. Well, I know now, boy howdy. So starting with, we're going to eventually do it, but it's probably the lowest on the totem pole. I didn't look up Zach and Jem Wilson. I know I looked up Jem at some point, but I looked up Steve and stopped. I want to look these up, but not immediately. Where is it? This guy. I keep sticking this face on Ernie Madden Jr. because I don't know where else to put it. They've already established that Miracle Jr. is in this pic. Miracle Jr. is blonde. There's only two blondes, and that one has the name Eli, so that has to be Miracle Jr. And Miracle Jr. has a bonus slot, so I'm just gonna stick it there and stop putting it on Ernie Madden Jr. because it's not him. But actually, the other thing is regarding the other blondie in this picture. This guy, he's got an Eli, but I keep not really wanting to put him there. Like, it kind of makes sense to put him there, but I don't think his outfit is correct, and this one has Eli in it, right? The 5 pieces photo with our generation. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since he looked a lot like Pop did in the old ones. What made me think... I want to make sure that I can follow my logic here for what made me think this is Eli Jr. So this is the next generation. This is the 5 pieces. This is the next generation. This Eli is... I'm going to take this off. This Eli is part of the next generation. Along with these two, who is my other big reveal for the day. Clancy, Lauren. So that was probably my logic behind which I decided that that picture was of Eli Jr., which seems to check out. So I think that's fair. So, what's going on with this other Eli? Well, remember, there is another Eli. He's not here. I'm just trying to look at him in the... Where he at? Where him at? Elias C. Roottree. I've been getting so confused between Elias M. and Elias C. The M probably stands for Miracle. And the C, I kept thinking maybe it stood for Clancy, and it goes right here. And then I realized... there is an EC that we know about. It's in the diary regarding Sam. There's a farmhand with the initials EC. That's probably Elias C. Roottree, and he's probably got something to do with this guy or somebody in the family tree, and so we shouldn't have to worry about him. Furthermore, Elias C. is a farmhand, and this is a very farmhandish outfit. It's blue collar. He's got a name tag. I don't know. I think that might be Elias C. I know he's not in here, but maybe he's posing as his brother for some sneaky twin shenanigans. We haven't seen any twins yet. I think these two might have been referred to as twins, but they were clearly fraternal. So that's that. I feel a lot more comfortable in that picture of Eli, and I think that might be Eli C. I don't care. That's my hill to die on. So those are a couple of things. Now, the real big one. These two people, I was like, who the hell are they? We couldn't figure out who they are. And that's true, but this is my Columbo moment. I'll let you go, but one more question. What about those other 2 root trees that are related to Lauren? Well, we do have 2 other root trees that we haven't put in the family tree yet. We've had them since the beginning of the game. Rob and Ron Roottree. They're brothers. They had some sort of a fallout. Columbus accent over, and I think they probably go here and here. Now, before I'm going to just, flack them in there, because we have a lot of data on those 2 that I've kind of skimmed over. I'm going to make sure, because I know they're referred to as somebody's great uncle or something, and if I can get that exact, then I can use that to, reinforce my suspicions. Brother Trouble, the rumors about Ron and Robbie Roottree. I need to find somebody who worked on it who was also in this family tree, and I know there is one. Tommy Mark Sheridan and Dustin Christopher their single mother was played by Tessa Green. Director Ron Roottree. Who was it? Somebody in this crazy mixed up universe who's a root tree. They mentioned getting their big break on their great uncle's film or something like that. Probably, let's try the Silver Screen magazine. Hey, I don't think I've ever read this before. There's an article about Ron Rootree entitled "Don't Blame the Nepotism, He Gets Results." After finding some small screen success, first as the director for a bunch of soap operas, he has decided to start his own production company. He was born in the US, but he grew up in Paris. He gobbled up American cinema. He's gone on record as saying he's an attentive director who can work with actors. He plans to pitch new shows. He plans to find the right project. His younger brother, Robbie. There we go. His younger brother, Robbie. Bam. Alright. Very good. Until then, he plans to find the right project for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. It might be Robbie or Robert or J. Robert Heimer. Robert Rootree, no. Come on, Silver Screen magazine. A small rumors article that claims that television screenwriter Robbie Rootree was tried and convicted under the name Robert in a French court of law. It seems that he allegedly embezzled from his company to fuel a gambling habit, fled to Paris, and then assaulted an officer who came to question him. Silver Screen was unable to get a statement from French authorities, but received info from an anonymous source and confirmed there was a trial involving a Robert Rootree. Yeah, that was the one that we found. It was the Rootrees versus RR. So that trial mentioned that Robert did something to a family member. Now, I don't think the Parisian officer is a family member. It would be really funny to have Mondu Rootree, but I think, like, I almost think that maybe Robbie was being impersonated by Ron, or it could just be as simple as completely dragged his name and his production's name through the mud. So I'm feeling real good about Rob and Ron Rootree, but I really want to find whatever somebody around here. Was it you, Carolyn? Were you the one who got your start on your great uncle? All right, who would? Let's say this is Ron Rootree. If this is him, whose great uncle would he be? So Riley Rootree's uncle is this, and great uncle is this. I believe the three of them would be the most likely candidates. Did I spell that right? Bam. A lot of obituaries. Alright, that's cool, but it doesn't bring up... Also, I've never heard anything about these three being in film. I just wish I could remember where I got... TMS was on it. The Rootrees versus RR. Oh, here it is. Penelope. Yeah, no, I knew that. Penelope worked for them at RR Productions. She's not a Rootree, though, so it's certainly not her great uncle. Penelope Tessa Green. Did I not spell that right? I don't really care. I don't think she's the right. Maybe James Rootree. I know I don't need to, but I really would like to see whatever piece of data I'm recalling that tied somebody to their great uncles. The duo is considered a one-hit wonder. The band has never had another hit. It's got its fans. It's got folksy music. He's a bit of a recluse. Nothing there. He's a musician, so it probably wouldn't be in the Silver Screen Times. It would be in Modern Music Monthly. But we're going to try it anyway, because we're here, aren't we? Modern Music Monthly. Am I spelling him wrong? He's got a banging hit, yo. How about Jim? Did I spell Modern Music Monthly wrong? No. Here it is. Alright. Diamond and I were in a band with his cousin Clark. Clark and I grew up like brothers. He never met his father, so our grandpop insisted we hang out, even though we weren't alike. Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her sister. Better songwriter. He started Raffertunes, the massive company, to be a client. They've got connections to Roottree. Not here. Who's grandpop in this story? Bam, bam, bam. Clancy Edward Roottree, the lawyer. Alright, you know, what's the worst thing that could happen if I just plug them in here? I'm reasonably certain they're correct. I don't see anywhere else for two brothers to go on the family chart. We got a age differential between the two of them. Ronald is the older one, and Robert is the younger one. And Robert Roottree is a songwriter, or is he a screenwriter? He's a screenwriter, and Rob is a director. But do we have any photos of them? They are not here. This makes sense. I don't believe that's the right generation. This one's kind of weird. I think this is the right generation, but I don't think we have any dudes left except this person. So who's in this photo? This is the next generation. The next generation consists of Angelica, Zachariah, Samantha, Lauren, Clancy. Is he locked in? Thank God. These two. Gwen, Miracle, and Elias M. I think Elias M is in this generation, but he's probably kind of ironically grandfathered into this one because of Miracle Roottree being so young. Unless, well, I guess that's I did say that that's him, so. An attempt to capture the spirit of the five-piece photo of generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand on the left, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted us four stand at the center of the pack. I really wish I knew what that meant. That doesn't make any sense to me. The only good one to make an appearance, the only one too good was Gwen. Grandma said we include Sam. Nobody knows why. She didn't think it was fair Miracle made it in since he's technically a five-piece. I love how they didn't let her into the old photo because Miracle, or like, she's like, why can't I get in? Miracle's in. They're like, no. And then this time they're like, oh, I'll let Miracle in even though he doesn't qualify. No wonder she holds a grudge. I can't fault you, Lauren. I'm with you all the way. There are no Robs in this one. God, that would be great if it were these two. Oh, no, it could be these two. This is why I need to figure out whether it's the right set or not. Well, I know. You know how we gonna do that? We gonna do that by just putting them in. Screw it. I don't think this is right, but let's just see what happens. Ronald Roottree. Robert Roottree. I think they're too young to start a production company. But whatever. Let's put it in because we know all the data. Ronald Roottree is a director. Robert Roottree is a screenwriter. Oh, it is them. All right. I'll take it. I will take it. I totally knew that was going to work. I was just having you on. Nice. Oh, nice. Oh, see, look. Her brother does something else. Oh, and it is him. Thank God. Is this the big moment? No. That's okay, though. We just unlocked a lot of homies. So... he's still unknown. That could still be him. Maybe I should have just put, you know, something in that slot so that I could have narrowed it down. But we got him. We got Ronald and Robert Roottree. Somehow. This person is still wrong. And you're all correct. I totally meant to do that. Zach Wilson is wrong. He's older, perhaps. I'm just going to pivot him to college, even though I don't actually know. Let's see if we can get any deets on him. He's not a Roottree. You ain't no Roottree, son. Poor Zach Wilson. I hope you're not doing anything too exciting. Jem Wilson. That name kept making me think she was going to get tied to Diamond or something. He was their doctor. So there's a chance there's something on them in the Butler County Times. Got anything for me? Nothing. Alright, doesn't look like Jem and Zach did anything particularly exciting. He's probably just too old for K-12. I'm going to leave him as he is. Who have we not unlocked at this point? Look at how deliciously gold that entire half of the map is. There's still something wrong with Gwyneth. We know for... Oh, so she's filled out. So she's wrong in some way. It's possible she's not a housewife. Ernie doesn't even have a frigging photo. Is Ernie Jr.? Ernie Jr. is not a next gen. He's a free spirit. He's in this ruddy photograph. He's not him. He's not him. He could be him or him. That's Carl. That's a girl. That's a woman. That's a woman. That looks like Clark. I'm going to be straight up. That, and then we know those two. I mean, look at that face. He's got the same face. I scream. So one of these two, Inigo Montoya and his blurry brother-in-law, either of these could be Ernie Jr. It'd be so bloody nice if we could lock in Ernie Jr. I've known him for this entire time. Though I should note, I mean, it could just be the printing error, but look at how flamboyant that guy's dressed. Does that look like a company president to you? I still don't know what gender... Yeah, I know what gender this person is because I can do this and filter by... Oh, no. Oh, it's because I have it slotted somewhere. Where did I put that? Oh, she's actually right. Oh, my God. Okay. Huh. I didn't notice, but... So what does that mean for Gwyneth? Hold on. You're locked in. You're locked in. You're locked in. I really don't think this is Gwyneth, which means that the picture's right. Gwyneth Madsen is this, but she's not a housewife. Do we know anything? Have we managed to find her in a document or something? Gwyneth. Nothing. Maybe she's in the Butler County Times? No. Who's she married to? No idea. It's a little weird that Ernie managed to become president despite nobody having any idea that his mom was secretly a root tree. I guess I might as well stick one of these two guys in there. I seriously think that's Clark. So... And again, this guy looks like he should be a friggin' backup singer for Ninja Sex Party. So let's put this guy in as... He doesn't look like a president either. He looks like Saxton Hale style president. Gonna go beat you up on the dance floor. But these guys are not actually these things. These two freaking sussy younger brothers of Lauren Roottree that nobody's mentioned. I don't know anything about them. It's James Roottree's dad. Maybe we could get something on that. Oh, I forgot. There was something I wanted to look up having nothing to do with any of this. On the page for the Roottree curse, there was some weird phrase at the bottom. Operation R2T9 is real. Heck, what is that? The Roottrees are changing the candy recipe to include more chemicals. Due to a loophole in the calendar, you can get away with any crime on a leap day, so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over. The Roottree hosts a meeting to poison our children. Polyglycerol polyricinoleate. Delicious. As an ingredient that wasn't there. It's trying to addict people. Okay. It's probably the ricin. They're all scared about the ricin. I'm pretty sure the game is informing me I don't need to do this, but it's a free country. And it's not currently a leap day. I think it just took me back to this page. Fair enough, game. Alright, so this is just an even more insane conspiracy theory. Bummer. Alright, let's go back. I need to connect 4 blood relatives to keep this gravy train going. Ernie Madsen Jr. is here, being a total hippie, also not having the right hairstyle for these two in the slightest. Gwyneth Madsen. Don't know who she married. So, Gwyneth Madsen married a bloke, and their kid is probably gonna have his last name. I don't think I've unlocked enough names to start doing what I'm considering. But, like, for example, Sam and Stephanie Cattrall. They could go here. Sam could be the dad, Stephanie could be the girl. Is there anyone else who qualifies for that sort of 2 unfigured out names? No, actually. Unless they married right back into the Roottrees. Let's try him. Sam Cattrall. Nothing. Huh. You know, Stephanie Landon and Stephanie Cattrall are on the same tier. I have a photo of a Stephanie that sent in her picture. She looks nothing like this Stephanie. She looks a lot like Samantha, and if this is actually the correct picture, she also looks like Gwyneth. This might actually be Stephanie Cattrall. And it's not here. Stephanie, who is an only child. See, that didn't give me a lot of data because this is also an only child, but this is also an only child, so this could be her. She looks like a student. She sent this just a few years ago, so she's probably still a K-12 student. So I'm going to put her in there. What does that leave? Are there any other blocks where 2 people need to have the same name? No, Elias is a dude, so she would have some random name. Where do the remaining root trees go? There's a root tree here. So there's 1 root tree here. There's 2 here. There's a 3rd. A 4th. There's a 5th and a 6th. And that's it. Those are the only remaining root trees. Clark would have to have been married to... he didn't have to. He's probably married to 2 girls before Jane LaRue. It's even possible I could probably find them somewhere in the knowledge. Kim LaRue. Kim LaRue is the 3rd LaRue sister, the Lucky LaRues. What is she doing in this chart? Who married Kim LaRue? Anyone. I think anyone could have married Kim LaRue. Heck, maybe Clark married Kim LaRue. No, I don't think that's right. Let's see. One thing that I keep forgetting and trying to remind myself to do, this little, like, notability thingy. Like, it says there's something to be gleaned from this page, apparently. The Roottrees sisters died in a crash. List of notable root trees. Photo of Carl's generation. Some papers and mail from his office. You heard something odd on WRTD News. The photo may have been stolen. The newscaster mentioned you could search WRTD for more details. The game seems to think I haven't gleaned everything I could from WRTD. That might not be enough. Aha! Picture of Carl's office. It wasn't a break-in. Someone with a key took the picture. It was likely someone close to the family. The culprit had an alternate agenda. Just another instance of the root tree curse being a real thing. Thank you, comment. Nothing in the diary. Nothing. There's something in Sam and Clark. I'm gonna go to Clark. Look at all these unknown marriages he went through. Clark's getting married and Danielle isn't much older. That sounds like his first ever marriage. Yeah, Clark's getting married too young to Danielle. The Free Spirits is a terrible name. They all want to be musicians and other nonsense, except Carl. Our generation, my brothers seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and Edward is even set to take over Pop's department once Pop retires. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and Edward is even set to take over once Pop retires. She wrote a thing. Zach's not bad. His sister's raising her twins. Those are the redheads. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. But the Free Spirits and any other family, they'd all end up on the streets. All right, there are things to go on here. Let's see. What was the first thing that I wanted to leap out and look at? Oh yeah, that both of her brothers pursued paths of knowledge. That fits. Clancy is a professor. We don't know about these two. I'm gonna add it. Brother Clancy is a lecturer. Her husband died in the war. Clark's a son. She has 3 younger brothers. Aunt Margot. Is she on anything? Did I put Aunt Margot anywhere? I don't think I put Aunt Margot. Margot. Laura, Sam, Walter. I don't see a Margot. Is Margot a nickname for something? Oh, that's weird. Because, yeah, I have heard a bunch of references to an Aunt Margot. Who would be Lauren's aunt? An aunt is a sister. And that means she has to be on this chart somewhere. There's Gwendolyn. There she is. I already have Aunt Margot locked in, sadly. Okay. Let's go back to the list. The Free Spirits is a terrible name. They all want stupid jobs except Carl. I was the first to marry in the next gens. Edward. Edward is set to take over Pop's department. Who's Edward? Edward. Edward? Do we have an Edward? Edward. Edward Roottree. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and Edward is set to take over Pop's department. That suggests that Edward is not one of her brothers. I guess by certain phrasings, it could mean he's... Also, who else could he possibly be? But if I had brothers, I wouldn't say, my brothers all did this, and Edward... I guess I could say it that way. You could phrase that in such a way that Edward is one of the brothers. Take over Pop's department. Her pop is a lawyer. If Edward took over his pop's... Let's look up Edward. I've never looked up Edward Roottree. At least I don't think so. Nothing. If Edward Roottree is going to become a lawyer, probably Business Watch or the Butler County Times. Because I don't know which of the two brothers Edward is, if he is one. Nope. Lawyer Edward doesn't have a lot to give to the table. Do I have a picture of Edward? Edward is a next generation. These fellers are all accounted for, aren't they? Samantha, Clancy, Lauren, Eli Jr., Angelique, Miracle, and Zach. This is the one that we don't know about. Yeah, that's the right generation. There's no other characters. So, it could be this. If Edward isn't a root tree, well, hell, it could be this. My brothers did X, and Edward is even going to take over. I mean, I guess I could see that being a way. James Roottrees father, perhaps. Yeah, actually, it couldn't be part of the Carl generation, because she specifically said they all want stupid jobs except Carl. So one of these two would have to be that guy. Did we ever lock in this feller? Did he ever go somewhere? Doesn't look like it. I don't see him anywhere. So if this is him, then we know that he became a lawyer. We don't actually know whether that's where Edward Roottree goes. That could also very easily be Edward Roottree, because I think that's the only... Well, she's got a lot of diaries. Let's see if we can find another one. That one goes back about Sam. Ooh. This is a page of additional notes and context from the Lauren's diary. Clark's gotten married again. So let's see. Clark's gotten married again. No Roottree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob, and Gwen divorced Wild Bill. Not even I can blame her for that. But neither of us ever took a second husband. I guess it was inevitable someone would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I wonder if his disrespect for marriage is due to a lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I could say for Clancy or Edward. Clancy. So, yeah, Edward goes here. It sounds like the other one is Eli C., actually, which is great. Please ignore all of my crazy ramblings at the beginning of this episode. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock. So who knows what causes these things? I suspect he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel. I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last, and Lord knows I was right last time. This can't be another Jane LaRue, right? He can't just marry Jane twice, right? Right? Jane's already locked in. Chris Rafferty was not born from Jane LaRue. Maybe I'll be able to get some info on his mom, but I don't want to get off topic here. I think I'm onto something. Edward Roottree, Eli C. I don't know if that's where he goes, but he goes somewhere. They're both married. There's a reference to Eli C. being married. I can't draw anything from that, I don't think. Well, hold on. Eli C. raised Clark and Jim as brothers, and I seem to recall that Jim's dad told him to chill with... So that would imply that Eli C. is his dad, which would move Edward over here. I have to zoom in. I can't see. Edward. There you are. Edward is taking over his father's job as a lawyer. Still this stupid-ass picture. I don't know which is which. Do I know what Elias C. did for a job yet? I don't think so. How many similar names there are? There's 4 Eli's, for Pete's sake. That's how it is. Someone would say I saw Eli. I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousins. That's why they became Uncle Jr. or Miracles Eli. Oh, this is... Dude, this sentence is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Our family names were always unusual. Okay. She's got a brother, an uncle, and a cousin. It's very clearly saying that Uncle Jr. is her uncle. Miracles Eli is her cousin. And Eli C. is her brother. That all checks out with how we have them placed on the chart. I think Miracles Eli is her cousin, right? A cousin is a sibling of a brother or sister. Right? Maybe? Miracles Eli? So Lauren's uncle has a kid. Yeah, that's a cousin. It's when your uncle has a kid, not when you're... And your uncle is your mother's brother. Okay, great. We're good. We still don't know who this mofo is. But I can confirm, like, to some degree. We've got Elias Roottree, who raised Jim and Clark as brothers. He does that because he's one of their 2 parents. That's great. So Eli goes there. Edward is taking over as a lawyer. Eli most certainly is not. I don't know what he does yet. Business Watch. He was chosen for his work as a clothing company. Before they married, Brenda was a fashion consultant. She retired to become a housewife. She sewed at the sewing machine. Carl's cousin Jim was a notable singer. Her patterns were being copied. His second cousin Ernie... Hey, look at that. Is that... Hey, that's the picture. That's the same picture that I... And they said it was on his wall and it got water damaged. Dang, it's all coming together. Brenda's patterns are being copied. Other blood relatives refused to fund anything other than candy. Jerks. So Carl funded the company by spending his entire inheritance. Everyone got on board when it started working. Raina became the cover model. That's all well and good. Don't know where the 1 is coming from. Do I get... We do. We got 3 on Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Jones. She may have grown up in an unconventional family, but in her words it was full of love. And now 22 years later, and with a baby of her own due around Christmas... And she won recently, so she's still pregnant from what I'm hearing there. She hasn't actually had the kid yet. Love is our future. Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye, but if you could put out a statement, she could use the eyes. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM. CM. Oh, Carolyn Morden. And Carl ignored her. Classic Carl. No. Alright, I wanna stay on these 2. But it's implying that there's some deets here. You know, I'm seeing Butler County Times references. Did we look up Stephanie Jones and the Butler? I think we did. I think we did the millisecond we found this. The Butler County Times. I do appreciate how when you click in, it auto-highlights, just like real Google. Oh, you're telling me... Okay, hold on. You're telling me the Butler County Times doesn't have anything on the Butler County Times? Isn't this like Wikipedia's having a page on Wikipedia? Stephanie... I already forgot her last name. What was it? Brown? I don't know. I'm gonna have to type it all again. Landon. She won her election. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon until she married Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County. She grew up in a home without a father. She's a distant cousin. Her mother, Carolyn, she doesn't like the corporation's policies. Okay. Odd that it's implying there's more for me to... I mean, 3 at this stage in the game? Look, it's the most valuable piece of data at our disposal, but I'm pretty sure I've already figured that all out, game. Are there any... We've literally got her entire family tree pegged all the way to the back. Carolyn does have something to say on the topic of Carl, who refused to get involved in the campaign. There's something on rolling on down to the city. Satirizes how part was remain indifference unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Listeners didn't care. Most of this play came from roller discos. It doesn't get much play. I'd never heard of it. This is an auction for a sealed copy. Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottree could make disco this sweet. It is credited to some guy from Eminem. Music and lyrics by Jim. Vocals by Jim and Diamond. Jim is very notable. Yeah, I feel it. Look at this. The current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Almost a century. Blue raspberry, chocolate, power plum, sour ape, apple, berry, cherry, strawberry. I wonder if there's anything useful to... Because it does have a 1. It does have a 1 on the ye old chart. I don't know, I need to get back to these guys. I feel like there's some dirt to pick up there. Aunt Margot, Gwen was an only child. She's off living the glamorous white life. She's the first Roottrie to be anything other than a housewife. They want to determine who the presidency will pass to now that Granddad is finally retiring. Lauren, boom. Oh my gosh, the OG. They're trying to figure out who's going to become the second president. Did we lock in the second president? Who became the second president? Zachariah. Really? Zachariah, there you are. You're locked in, and that's what actually ended up happening. There's a meeting now that Eli Roottree, the old and glory, is finally retiring. Clancy. When she was referring to Clancy, she's talking about her brother, presumably. Granddad was furious. None of the 3 male 5 pieces would take over, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. Sadly, that would have been really great, but I've already got those locked in. Pop brought Clancy to step up, but it ended up going to Zach, who's not even a Roottree. But Zach's the firstborn son of the oldest 5-piece and the first male in the next generation. Okay. I asked Clancy if it even came up that a woman take over the business. After all, Angie's older, but Clancy just laughed. You should have heard the cuss words when Pop told Ma it wouldn't go to Clancy. Mother countered that maybe they wanted to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. That is so rude. You learned that Elias Roottree announced that Sam, a distant cousin, was to be included in the family gatherings. Why Sam? I have many second cousins. After all, Granny had sisters, I think. And Granddad had a few brothers. And none of them show up on the chart because they're too old. Granddad said cut them from the leaves of the family tree, but Sam? Cousin Angie summoned the rest of us next generations except Gwen, who has taken a permanent residence in Paris, to a meeting. These 2 are next generations. Let's not get distracted yet. We tried to unravel the mystery. None of us had met Sam until Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Here it is. Uncle... So he's secretly her father. At the wedding, I asked who Sam was. Pop told me it was complicated. Eli mentioned Sam grew up near the original Anderson farm. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, mentioned that Sam grew up near the Anderson farm with 2 farmhands, E.C. and John. The Anderson farmhand? Farmhands would not share the last name of anyone. He even said Sam taught him how to fix the tractors. None of us explained why an outsider's cozying into family affairs. One who works on the farm. What happened to blood as thick as syrup? Why is he making an exception now? Granddad said cut them from the leaves of the family tree, but Sam, the exception to the rule. Alright. What does Elias C. end up doing? That little dig at... Not this one. Architects. Yeah, so we knew who the architect, preacher, and lawyer was. Too late for this one. I'm going to go back to the picture of the next generation. Because, again, I feel like we have everyone accounted for, but there's one picture missing. Here's the next generation. We've got Zachariah. Miracle Jr. snuck in the back. I don't know who this is. And then I know who this is, but my brain doesn't care. This is Eli Jr., this is Lauren, this is Clancy, and this is Samantha. So this guy, he's got to be either Edward or Elias Roottree. Elias is actually, like, involved. Did I say Elias? Yeah, I did. Oh, wait. There's an Elias. Maybe this is Elias. Which would leave this to be... He's in the right generation, but maybe he's not invited to the adventure, which would make him this guy. I don't know his frigging job. Does that work at all? Because, yeah, he might be considered part of, like, this generation because his dad had them so late. I guess it would make more sense for these two to be in this photograph. I want Eli to stand on the left since he looked a lot like Pop did. That is a way one would talk about their brother. So if Lauren would be this guy's brother. Too bad I don't know his frigging job. What did you do, Elias C. Roottree? They insisted us four stand to the center of the pack. Does that work? Us four? Clancy, Lauren... I mean, it kinda does. She's not in the right spot for that, but she kind of is. You know, Miracle creeping in the back. Heck, Miracle probably hadn't even had his kid yet. I mean, look at how look at his age. So, all right, I think I'm gonna lock that in. I think that sounds pretty nice. It doesn't tell me a lot. Of the remaining kind of bonus people, we have one wife, one husband, one wife, one wife, one wife, one wife. One wife. There's only one missing husband, if I'm not mistaken. Where did I get that? Oh, here. Alright, well. That would mean it's not Laura. It's not Liam, because I tried him. It didn't work. Could be Walter. Edith, Patricia, Kim, Helen, Joan, April, Candy. Hey, nice. That is the only... feller that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Hey. Oh. Wait, what? Hold on. You find some info about Walter Forsythe. It's not very well organized. The search is broken. You can get to individual pages. Walter Forsythe is listed in the cast of a movie called Gal and the Gang. It appears to be a low-budget comedy. The page doesn't include a plot synopsis or mention anywhere that Walter was Wild Bill Williams. Apparently my character already knew that. There must be a much more obvious one somewhere that I missed. 'Cause I have never heard about Walter Forsythe. Well, thanks, player character, for cluing me in on that. I'm sure the game dev appreciates having a dumbass for a playtester. You gotta check the lower bound, not just have a bunch of Sherlocks playing your game. So Walter Forsythe might be in Silver Screen Magazine, and Gal and the Gang might be in Silver Screen Magazine. I'm gonna check both, even though I don't really need to. Silver Screen Magazine, right? I think I just said that. That's not even remotely spelled correctly. Well, Lord only knows how my character knew, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. Locking you in, Walter Forsythe, aka Wild Bill Williams. Sadly, since there's like 18 mystery wives, I can't... I suppose there's no reason not to just plug them all in and pray. I know that this is a daughter. I know she's a baby, come on, and that's her picture. So if she's not Tessa, then who is she? How many mystery root trees that are also girls do we have? Does she have a bonus picture? No, so she's not November. Wolf is a man's name. Christina. Could be Christina. It could be Candy. That's it. Could be Candy. Could be Jack. Not Jack. It could be Candy, and it could be Christina. Oh, okay. Apparently I did something right. I should have filled in all those random women's names. Darn it. Yeah, thanks, Sam. And Walter. And Danielle Franks. Alright. How we doing on, progress? Oh, Lord, I have to get 2 more sets of these people. Alright, I locked in Edward. I didn't lock in Elias because I don't know his job. Of the remaining people, I don't know what this guy does for a living. I know he has a kid. Alright, before I be sad again, we're just gonna start sticking people in slots. Because they ain't doing me no good by not being in slots. I'm trying to keep an eye out for generational names, like if there's a Helen Lennon and a Helen Roottree, for example, then it was like, oh, it's named after her mom. Christina is Linda Penelope. Joan Monroe. April Quaritch. Catherine Wilkins. Christina. I should probably be, like, searching all these people. Kim LaRue is important. Patricia Jones is important. Do we have a random person to plug in? We actually don't. Did one of you marry another guy? I'm okay with that. I'm just haven't heard anything indicating as such. But if somebody was to do it, it would have to be... Because if this were 2 men, for example, this would be a dashed line. Because that's how it worked for Stephanie. If anyone's going to marry a guy, it would be Guy. Because they didn't have no kids. And who would even be possible? He could have married Kim LaRue. She could have just come back. Nothing. Nadia. Business Watch, Butler, Kenny Times, Modern Music Monthly. She's a musician, so if she'd be anywhere, it would be Modern Music Monthly. Ah, here it is. I was trying to find this, darn it. The LaRue sisters, their great-uncle's record label. The LaRue sisters got their start as singers, backup singers for their great-uncle's record label. Is he important? Do the LaRue sisters having a great-uncle matter? All three have found success as musicians in various ventures, with Diamond and Jane touring with some famous faces, and younger sister Kim making a splash on Broadway. So I know she's an actress. But do the LaRue sisters having a great uncle matter? I don't think so. If Diamond LaRue had a great uncle, that would mean that her unimportant dad had an even more unimportant brother, unless she's, you know, related to these two, which I don't think they are. Hold on, look at this. Robert Roottree is like adopted or something. Where'd he come? Huh. Paris. James Roottrees is just sitting here with these two kids, and he hasn't put anything down for them. Pretty sure this is like my 5th time trying this. What's your job, Eli C? What do you do? I have a clue that it's something, something like a professor, something cerebral. But you know, there's plenty of those. He could be a professor. He could be a principal for all I know. Eli mentioned that Sam grew up with the other farmhands. Cut them from the leaves of the family tree. This one's cool, but it's got a big goose egg for relevance. This one's got a 2. There's got to be something here. This looks pretty good. Look at all this. This is a page of extra notes. I didn't know our family history when I wrote this. I didn't know Sam was a Roottree. She's a fine woman. She might have been the sister Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her. She married Ernie. Her children seem eager to help in their own way. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long time since any real Roottree was as excited as interested as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother. Whoa. Sam is a spitting image of Patsy. Oh, Patsy is not a person with photographs, so that doesn't matter, but... Did I? No. This is not his picture. Which is great. Do I have anything on him? Ernie Jr.'s brilliant data from Zach. It's been a long time since any Roottree was interested in the actual candy is Ernie. Alright, so first things first. I got this picture from the Free Spirits. That's not his picture. Who else could he be? He's not him. He's not him. I could have known for sure if I just stuck this very Clarky picture of Clark down. Not him, not him. I think that's Clark. Not her, not her, not her, not him, not him, not him, not him, not him. It's gotta be him. Where's the blurry boy? I'm gonna put you down there. And if by some miracle I manage to get 4 more of these and it's wrong, then I know for sure that it's him. I really need to be putting stuff down when I only vaguely know it or don't know it. I still need to go through the list and Google all these random names that I've plugged in, because you never know. Maybe one of them was a blogger before marrying into the Roottrees. Let's go back to where I was. Ernie Jr. has been learning data from Zach. He's really excited. He's going to become president one day. Why didn't I figure it out? It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would pants to Sam for as long as she was willing. When Zach was made president, Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Her mom is in so much stuff. Is she just some random name that I plugged in, or do we actually know who she is? No, I completely guessed on her. She's just mom, mom, mom. Mother reframed it. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants. Pop warned us to stay away from that farm. I never met the farmhand DC in person, but Pop once referred to him a confirmed bachelor. Sounds like he's gay, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. I think he's seeing Mr. Miller. Is that a thing? Do we have a Mr. Miller? We don't have a Mr. Miller. It's possible he'll be added to the list once we get that far. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. She seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problem with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elia and Gwyneth. Yeah, I mean, fair. Additional notes. Already read this. It's a little weird because Clark's getting married again. But she's wrong. He's getting married a third time. I mean, again still counts as a third time, but she's framing it as a second. It's implying as you with a second, but I know for a fact this isn't Jane LaRue, because this is Jane LaRue, and she's... Wait a minute. Oh my god, she's not locked in. You're not locked in at all, Jane LaRue. You must be Jane LaRue. Oh my god, I thought she was locked in this whole time. This isn't locked in. Heavens to Betsy. So who are you? Who are you if not Jane LaRue? This is locked in and everything. Clark was in a department store getting a portrait with his wife and children, and while his wife was trying to get Katrina to calm down... Isn't there a random Katrina? Don't we have a random Katrina somewhere? No, it's Catherine. Would a Catherine name their kid Katrina? Maybe. Tessa. No, she's not Tessa Roottree. Can't believe you're Jane LaRue. What is this? No. This is a single from a folk group, C&J and J&D. Okay. The website by Clark and Jim, backup by the LaRues. You're in here somewhere, Jane. Man, I can't. These guys look exactly the same. So one of you is Jim Roottree, and one of you is Clark Rafferty. But you look so different from... Wait, you're Carl. Why am I looking at Carl? She's got some weird Star Trek headdress, so I can't tell who that is. So the order is C and J and J and D. I'm gonna assume that these two are married, or like together, and these two are together, because ain't nobody would pose diagonally. She's holding like a guitar, maybe. The guitar also kind of just looks like it's crowbarred in there. None of them have a name tag or anything, so that I can tell these Stepford Smilers apart from each other. The only thing I have going is that if my folk group was called C&J plus J&D, I would have it as C&J plus J&D. I wouldn't flip it around. Clark and Jane plus Jim and... That would make this Jane. I'm just going to put it in there, because if I'm wrong, then I have learned some valuable data. I wonder if she counts. Is she... I think she's just a spin-off. I don't think she counts for anything. And I have a sneaking suspicion you're not Liam Cornwall, ma'am. Does Chris Rafferty talk about his... I can't just look up Chris Rafferty. I gotta look up his email. Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. The Art of Rafferty. He doesn't talk about his mom at all. But he is a LaRue. Cut and pasted in an abstract pattern. My cousin Davy. Stephanie. Can't believe there's 2 Stephanies. That is so rude, game. How many more of these are there? And you're not you. I'm going to put Patricia Jones in there. Can't believe that's not... He got married 3 times. Clark. Lord knows who Guy Hudson married. Is there any other... now I need to be actually careful. So I filled you in at random. You're all gold. Gwyneth is still wrong. She must not be a housewife, because that's definitely her picture, and that's definitely her name. Oh, these 2 turned out to be right. That's always nice. Didn't she say something about Gwen having as green a thumb as her... I don't see, you know, florist on here. But she, you know, there's clearly something wrong. Maybe she's an interior designer? Actor, architect, author, baby, comedian, dancer, director, driver, farmer. Maybe she took over the family farm after Sam got too old because she has a green thumb, right? I'ma keep it. Who knows? Any other weirdos on this list? You 2, the love of all things. See if there's like an Edward Jr. Oh my gosh, that's it. We can see all the root trees on one page. Haha. Candy, November root tree. It wouldn't make sense for well, you know, it makes some sense. But I'm like, isn't November an only child? What do I know about November root tree? Very little. How is this a 2? What is there to learn from? Oh, they're probably just mad that I had her wrong. Yeah, fair. I'm also mad that I had her wrong this long. Stephanie. That was her mom being like, come on, Carl, stop being a loser. Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Is that true? Does that pass the sniff test? Wait, what? I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn. Where's Gwendolyn? I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combo of Gwyneth and Carolyn. Is there another Carolyn? Oh no, she's locked in. What? Hold on, hold the phone. Anytime someone's a junior, they're the firstborn son. With the women, that goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Elias. Carolyn was Elias's mother. And this is Lauren talking. Elias. Oh no, Sarah's locked in. I don't know where I got Sarah from. Elias's mother. What, this one? Do I have another Carolyn? No. How is Carolyn the mother of any Elias? You? Are you sure? Also, isn't this Carolyn a little old? I mean, young to be the Carolyn? I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother? Edward Clancy Roottree. Ooh, you know what? I remember once receiving mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree. You got my father's name backwards. You definitely didn't accidentally mean to send that to EC the farmhand. No way that guy's a Roottree. What am I... That Carolyn is a weird drop. Because she's not the mother of any Eli's. Carolyn. Is there another Carolyn on here? I don't know, I'm particularly baffled by that one. I don't see how Carolyn could be, Gwyneth. This was written by Lauren, right? So this is a re-release. So she's pretty old at this point. People like Carolyn and Gwyneth were born, and it would... Actually, it'd make no sense whatsoever for them to name Gwendolyn after Carolyn and Gwyneth. She's just based off of Gwendolina, but maybe Lauren is just guessing. Clara is not really short for Carolyn. Let's keep going. That's why they became Uncle Junior or Miracles Eli or Eli C. Our family's names are always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father... Okay, but we don't care about those two, because they're not in the family tree. This bit is very fun. This is a weird little story where some random girl claims that Clancy Edward Roottree is her dad. I mean, that is possible. Once this homie unlocks, there could totally be another little branch here. So okay then. Clark is locked in, luckily. I think that's gotta be Ernie. And, these two. I guess I might as well put something down, because we're so low on root trees at this point, I might just get lucky. So, which root trees? I don't know, we're not going to get super lucky. Actually, how many root trees are left that... Because, like, Elias M and C, we know who they are. There's Candy... November, Tessa, and Wolf. I don't think it's November. I think November... I don't know, probably this one. And, then there's these two. 3. 2 of them are here, and 1 of them is here. Is there one for, like, a plumber or a worker? Look at that giant name tag. Alright, which of these jobs comes with a name tag? None of these. Driver would come with maybe a name tag. Farmer might come with a name tag. Mechanic might come with a name tag. Principal. Honestly, of all these, homie looks like he's wearing a mechanic's outfit. Director, maybe a driver, maybe a farmer. But mechanic is kind of the most blue collar of all these jobs, so I think I'm probably going to leave it there. Helen Lennon is a complete guess. Candy Roottree is such a weird name. Do I have them all correct? Yeah, I got them all correct, thank God. Here's the free spirits. The Roottrees hold a big reunion, recreate an old family photo. This one's from the 70s. Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. On the back of the photo, in childish writing, it says November. Hello. There's also a large number of cursive signatures. Let's see how many of these people we know. They include Bonnie. I'm pretty sure we have Bonnie. You're locked in. Guy Hudson is locked in. Ernie Jr. is not locked in, but we've literally eliminated every single character except Blurry Boy. Carolyn. You're Carolyn. Gwyneth M. Gwyneth M we get by process of elimination. All the other girls are accounted for. Unless I'm wrong and that's Gwyneth M and that's November, but I don't think so. Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is you, which I'm so grateful for because I know nothing about you. Miracle Jr. is you. I'm going to double check and see if that actually locked in. I think it did. Jim Roottree. I don't think we've put Jim Roottree anywhere. I don't know. That might be Jim Roottree. And then Clark. Carl. And Eli M. Eli M? Yeah, Eli M. Wait, Eli M? This guy? Oh, yeah. Well, there he is. Eli M. This was locked in, gratefully. So... Dumby-dumby-dumby-dum. I suppose that might be Jim Roottree. I mean, he's really small. He actually does look a lot like this guy. Yeah, it could be him. But it also could be him. I see no let's just leave it where it is. It's not gonna count for anything. It won't unlock some secrets if we were to get it right. I haven't managed to figure out Elias Roottree's job yet, unfortunately. November. Yeah, I'm gonna go right back. So November's here. Somebody here has a kid. Would it not imply that she would be born, you know, before a lot of other people? Admittedly, these don't really have a, you know, a before. This could be November. But whoever she is, I think she's either the oldest or an only child. Which, you know, knocks that off, I suppose, and that's literally it. I don't think this makes a lot of sense. If that were me and that were my daughter, I don't think I'd have her stand all the way over there. I guess why not, but I guess it would make sense. I guess anyone could have their kid stand in the middle. She's standing right between Carolyn and Jim, who don't like each other later in life. What's this? Oh yeah, it's Carl. Okay. Also, she's black-haired. Everyone in this family is blonde. So I don't think November is her kid. But that means November... Well, actually, this can't be November because this is the wrong generation. I mean, look, this is friggin' Carl. This is Carl in this generation. If that were November, that doesn't... Yeah, that doesn't work. That's what Carl looks like, so November would be his age. One of these two, right? Has to be November. And she's the only one in the picture. She wouldn't be the younger one, because the younger one would be in the picture. So this is probably November. And how old is she? She's kind of the same age as the Roottrees, who we seem to be putting in college. Alright, no freebies. No freebies today. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about that one. That makes sense to me. How many candidates? We need to get 4 of them correct. Let's assume everything's correct right now. What number would we be at? None of these. We would have 1 correct, 2 correct. 3 correct. We don't know his frigging job. 4 correct. So one of them's wrong. But we have a bunch of people who might be correct. Is it weird for Elias Roottree to become a mechanic? Kind of, considering everybody else around him is a preacher, but he's not dressed like a preacher. You have a cerebral job. Architect is cerebral. Author is cerebral. Director is cerebral. Doctor is very cerebral. You can't be a lawyer, you're a lawyer. Maybe she didn't seem to respect Sam being a mechanic. You're not a president. I suppose you could be a principal. You could be a professor. Yeah, it didn't work. No surprise. Fair enough. It was a pretty stupid try anyway. But, I guess I'll leave something on there. What's the most cerebral that's not currently taken by another person? I don't know. You don't really look like a doctor to me, but might as well. So what root trees are left? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 more possible root trees. Tessa. If there's any connection to Tessa Green, well, there can't be. Nobody has anything to do with Tessa Green, so that's just a coincidence. I don't think I have a picture of her, which implies that there's more pictures to obtain. I've used pretty much all the pictures. What portraits do I have of an unknown feller? I know these people, right? Yeah, they're right there. And that's it. That is all the pictures. So if we're supposed to have pictures of these two, we don't currently have it, which means that there's something. Have I ever looked up Yeah, I looked up Edward Roottree. I couldn't find anything. He was a lawyer. You'd think he'd have, you know, better call Ed. I'll get to the root of this. I wasn't sitting there trying to think of that pun. I'm just typing Butler County Times, Edward Roottree. You don't know anything about Ed Walker Roottree? He's a lawyer, perhaps Business Watch, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Alright, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Maybe she'd be K-12? No, she's not really the right gen for that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. They're in K-12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. Yeah, maybe she's in K-12. Which would put you as also a student at K-12. Lauren released some romance novels. Her publisher re-released them. I'm trying to find info on Elias C. Roottree. And we have a couple angles to go for. Like James Roottree. If it was like James grew up the son of a doctor. And had 2 kids. James Roottrees is a singer who sings with the Jim and Diamond. These guys are not very creative with their band names. They got a one-hit wonder. The music is more folksy. He's become a bit of a recluse. Hasn't made a public appearance. Cherry Tree. Sound of laughter. He's like, I wanted to replicate the sounds from my father's clinic because the kids were so happy with his job as a doctor. It wasn't very popular. Reviews are middling. Some liner notes on a fan page. They're credited Jim. Alright. Cherry Tree. It's about the cherry tree in the back of his father's car mechanic shop. Well, you know, you think you're so bloody self-important. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's right. An album by Jim and Diamond. It wasn't reviewed. Die-hard fans say it was a return to form. It was so frigging hard to find that they resorted to selling bootlegs of it. There's a commerce website that claims to sell it but sold out. You find a short sample of one of the songs called Sun, and you add it to your evidence. Okay. That's good. I'm on board with this. Cherry Tree is an album, and one of the songs is called Sun. The website you found it on does not have a full version, but you found a short preview. There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone, from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part I'd never be alone. In my heart I'll always be the son of... Finish the line! Dr. Elias C. Roottrees! Alright.
There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone, from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part I'd never be alone. In my heart I'll always be the son of...
Is there a cherry? Cherry LaRue? No? Damn it, James Roottrees. Who are you the son of? Alright. Big goose egg. They're like, we're glad you found it, but it's useless. Alright. Well, I thought we'd found something there, but it turns out we didn't. What is up with Stephanie Jones being a 3? Pretty sure rolling on down to the city is preoccupied with me having gotten... Did I fix that? No, I fixed that this time around. Alright. I'll always be the son of... It's got a goose egg on it. Even the game doesn't think there's anything to draw from there. Unless his dad was a lumberjack. A very cerebral job. Alright. I admit I'm drawing something of a blank. We've made some real good progress. I think we got a pretty healthy amount of fellers in decent spots. There's still more pictures to find. I know that for a fact because, well, I've used pretty much all the pictures. Let's go from A1. You two are done. You're also done. You two are done. You're done. You three are done. You two are done. You four are done. You're done. You three are done. You three are done, as are you. You're all done except Chad, who I think is EC, the farmhand. You are all done. You're not. We have a few suspicious characters floating around. This is the first one where they're not done. You two are done, and we're back. Y'all ain't done, but they're not characters I care about because we have you all filled in. You two are done. You 5 are done. You're done. You're done. Sir, no, go back. It's a 0. Hey, this used to have a thing on it, now it don't. Progress. You two are done. We're back. There's still something to be gleaned from Lauren's notes, but Lauren is not going to have pictures of these people's kids. Whoever the heck Elias spawned ain't going to be in Lauren. And neither is this, and sure as heck neither is this. So there's still things for us to find. We don't have all the data we need to clean out this family tree. And that, I do think I'm going to call it here. I've hit the 90-minute mark, and hopefully, after I review this episode, I find a couple more angles that I'd like to jump in. We didn't make as much progress as last time, but we did make some progress. We're going to be needing to make 2 more progresses before we unlock an important chart point, which I'm very excited about. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.